Good, good, good. So we are back. So what we have a small round table with our guests. Maybe you won't see me in this motion later, but you will see our guests and their response on debate I wanted to open about some dilemmas I have about artificial intelligence, and I believe that they will help us maybe with some answers, or maybe they will just open more and more questions on that topic. So, guys, yeah, all good? So, my first question I'm asking myself is, are we ready for next step in artificial intelligence? Who? Okay, great.
Yeah, I would say we need to ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, yeah.
To say we are too late. In terms of what?
Hold on, take a mic. I think it's.
Am I on? Okay. In terms of what? Like, because let's say in terms of regulations, we are not ready even in 5 years. We are so far. Just let's say if we think about artificial intelligence, let's say very basic artificial intelligence is self-driving cars. We have absolutely nearly zero regulations about self-driving cars. What happens when a self-driving car is in an accident? So ChatGPT and far above, we are way behind technology.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. That's one of those questions which we are opening, like morality about the decisions. So definitely, that was debate about cars and who to save or who to hit. If you have in front of you two persons, one 60 years old and one 5 years old. Who to save or who to, what to do, and yeah, definitely that's a good point. And are we building new world in this moment? Yep. Yeah, Maxim, please.
There are people who are telling that. Invention of AI or current AI, let's say, evolution is or has the same meaning to mankind as, let's say, development or invention of internet in general. So, internet was the big thing, as we all know. So, those people believe that AI is that next big thing or same big thing. Yeah. So, I think yes.
Some other comments on the same topic?
Yeah, we are definitely going to change the world with it, because a lot of jobs will be changed, a lot of jobs will disappear. So yeah, and we need to find a replacement jobs for all these people who will, I don't want to say that they, will be useless, but with automation and AI, simply they will need to start doing something else.
Yeah. Each automation in human history resulted with much more new jobs than they took. What do you think, Mr. Varga?
I don't know what
take mic closer.
I don't know what to think about it, but I can quote some numbers. When the ATM machine, the automatic transfer machine, money transfer machine, was invented, in 1970, it was about 300,000 people working in the bank as cashiers. And after 40 years, in 2010, and after installed 400,000 ATM machines in the United States, there are now 600,000 people working in the banks. But they are not doing the same job that they have done. And I think we have this problem of lifelong learning. We have to adjust. There is no other way to overcome this problem. The problem is maybe that, for example, self-driving cars will replace taxi drivers. And what can you do with a person 55, 60 years old? I know exactly what a 60-year-old can learn. Nothing. He's useless. So therefore, you have to find a solution. One of the possible solutions is the basic income. But then you have another problem. If you have a basic income in Europe, that doesn't mean that will solve problems in Bangladesh. And a lot of new problems are on the horizon, and I think it was the right time. It's very important to talk about it.
Yeah. Jarek, any comment?
So yeah, just to introduce myself, guys, I haven't spoke yet. My name is Jarek. I'm here with Cloudflare. I think it's interesting, just in general, AI, and we focus on the benefits of it, right? And you know how it can help, for example, in information security. But what we've seen at Cloudflare actually is that it's a double-edged sword, and I'll explain why. So, for example, with ChatGPT, it actually enables malicious actors to create attacks quicker and more attacks, right? For example, phishing emails, more sophisticated phishing emails. They could ask ChatGPT to write a sophisticated DHL or PayPal phishing email, which which is obviously the biggest threat vector for any business, as 95% of attacks start with a phishing email. And vendor email compromise, business email compromise, or it could help them write a malicious script for that can kind of exfiltrate data from their web application. Of course, with Cloudflare, we try to, or what we do is we use AI to see the latest zero-day threats, right? And on the zero trust side, we don't trust emails, we don't trust users. We log and authenticate every request. So by default, we assume breach in the zero trust model. So I think that's important to know, that AI is a double-edged sword, and you also need to be ahead of the curve in terms of information security and how you protect against these even more threats with AI.
Yeah, keep the mic, and you will share. More and more. I mean, ChatGPT actually is just a most recent exponent of artificial intelligence. Which is close to our perception and very obvious way of use, but definitely we are opening this chapter in the world debating. But so it seems that artificial intelligence becoming smarter and smarter, and in some elements maybe is better avoid people as a highest threat. So in security, maybe it's better avoid people in some elements, or what to do. Are we useless from security perspective? Because social intelligence is very vulnerable. I mean, human intelligence, which includes social intelligence, could be very vulnerable, and maybe to avoid people from security elements. Or yes, no, comments. Yeah. So. Yeah, as I said, I have questions, I have no answers, and it's happening so fast, and adoption, adjustment, learning, incremental learning. It's funny. It's funny. So we all participate in artificial intelligence. Definitely. So all those boxes you bought check pictures with traffic lights or where you see bicycle. We all helping or improving vocabulary on Google Translator. We all participate in that. Is this good, bad, Mr. Varga?
It's yes.
Exactly.
Exactly. What is the problem? You know, a gun is not dangerous. The fool that is having the gun is dangerous. And then with the gun, he can do much more damage than he could do without it. And the same thing is applicable to AI. The only problem with AI is nobody knows where the switch is. You could always take the gun away from a foolish guy. With AI, it's not defined.
The other thing is, if one person's had a gun, the other one needs to have as well, because you won't take a knife into a gunfight. So if one nation or a attacker or vendor or whoever will start to use AI, the other ones needs to follow, because otherwise they will be, you know, expected as dated, outdated, or they will simply not be able to, you know, defend.
And I think no matter what we think, we just cannot stop it. I mean, we are at the phase when, I mean, it's just impossible to stop it. And I think that a recent initiative from Elon Musk was quite telling when he was kind of trying to create some committee to limit the development of AI, and it didn't work. I mean, everybody was almost laughing at him because everybody understood that there is China, there is some big companies who see it as a competitive advantage. And no matter what you're telling them, they will develop AI because they believe it's going to bring them money. And unless something major breaks, we're going to just follow the flow at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, but without some regulations, as you said, unless something major breaks, there will be something that breaks, and that's going to be big. I think we might go back to the basics and read Asimov, how he foreseen this, because he has a lot of truth there. And as we had, what is the thing in English? The conveyor belt? Yeah, when that was established and the steam machine was invented, there were a lot of workers who went to the factories and they demolished those things because they were afraid. So I think Asimov and history books, we just need to go back and see how the transition was made back then, and we need to kind of adapt it to 2020 something, 3, 4, 5, and see what happened there and just learn from the past.
We are not very good in learning from past.
Oh, we are very bad.
But what I wanted to reply to is regulations. I fully agree with you that there are no regulations and there should be regulations. But at the same time, if an AI will be a weapon or a tool to get money from nations, what is the expectations of those nations signing those treaties? We see the same from nuclear weapons. And nuclear weapons are like, what, 70, 80 years old? I mean, the technology or the destruction, the AI is very new. So if we were not able to get the entire world to sign in treaties to get rid of the nuclear weapons or to reduce them, then how successful we are expecting to be with AI, which is not aiming only on destruction, but it's aiming on making what the world wants, money.
Just 1 minute. Yeah, and the problem with the regulation, I'm really not into regulation, because here we don't even know how to regulate. We don't have a basis. We don't have experience with it, because it's just bumped out so quickly that we don't, basically we don't know anything really to have
to establish standards.
Yeah, an established standard, a foundation to build upon some regulation.
And that acknowledgement is the first step. Say that we don't know anything.
History repeats itself. We had this social media, and then suddenly there was this great question of privacy. And with AI, we have a completely different problem because we don't know how to regulate that things will go well. For example, there is a nice story. A person has asked AI to become the richest person in the world. So AI killed everybody else.
Yeah, yeah, very, very, yeah,
Yeah, be careful what you wish for. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, of course, education, essays, works, everything we are flashing to the toilet. How to recognize that kids made those essays or artificial intelligence just deliver the essay.
But do they really need it? I mean, we are not being taught the same things as the kids or 300 years ago. So maybe it's just a new part of the evolution that the essays or things like that will simply disappear, because why to spend time?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, totally, yeah, it's a...
Yeah, but then the education reform will be even slower than the regulation of AI, I'm afraid.
So then we are going to next question. If we will abandon some knowledge, so what will happen with us? Is this good or bad? So are we smarter with smarter technology?
We are for sure lazier.
Yeah, but laziness brings things ahead. There is a point of view because, you know, if you're not lazy to carry things, you wouldn't invent the wheel and the coach would go, oh, come on, I can carry this. I'm not lazy to put it on a coach or something. So, yeah, why not? Let's be lazy, but be smart lazy.
Well, and in general, I think it's just a natural progress or natural process, because how many of us know how to, let's say, grow the crops, grow it? Okay, he knows. He's the only one. I don't. How many of us know how to make steel? Nobody. And but still, kind of mankind somehow does those things. I think the same gonna be with artificial intelligence. Yes, kids not gonna know how to write maybe essay, but they will know how to create a proper request to ChatGPT so ChatGPT would create a proper answer to them. Maybe that's gonna be more important in next 10 years.
There are some examples of use where artificial intelligence and computing become very helpful, like some segments of our lives, medicine. Well, we just talked with Mr. Varga just before this roundtable. Maybe you can repeat this related to Israel experience and yeah.
For example, radiologists in Israel are obliged to use the second opinion from AI when they see your X-ray pictures. Because AI has the capability to better identify some things that doctors just oversee. They're not aware of that. And it's a good thing, actually. But, of course, I'm sure there are bad things. The problem is that we have started to talk about AI maybe much more after ChatGPT has been presented to the public. But we didn't start to talk about AI when the American Army has included AI in the Predator, the pilotless flying bombs. And that was some 15 years ago. So ChatGPT is actually a good thing. Ordinary people started to think about it. Ordinary people like doctors and teachers had now the task to get involved. And that's a good start. I don't know how will it end good, but the start is quite interesting.
There are some ideas of being used in courts. You mentioned that as well, and that's a part of human society which is a little bit more sensitive and different than medical, how to say, results analysis. So, yeah, what do you think about that? How to use this kind of, how to apply?
So basically we are talking about end of corruption. Because it will not bring any, human nature or self-desires into its decision. It will simply check the logic. Unless it's going to be corrupted by a human behind.
Yeah. That's one side of medal. But we have also a situation that giving everything to children maybe is not good for their perception of life, and interpreted by artificial intelligence, it could be understood differently, like mobbing,
And there is a nice question. What will happen if somebody falls in love with AI?
Yeah. Yeah, very. I mean, I have a feeling that we just getting worse and worse into. Yeah. Anyway, so there is also one more thing I just wanted to touch. It's about security. So there is more and more ideas to replace people on a battlefield with robots, and war is also on in cyberspace. And I wouldn't be surprised that we are having soldiers, artificial soldiers. They are special units for cyber attacks. But it's any. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just have a question. Just going back to the point around, students and using AI. Wasn't it the same like with Google, right? When you could just search up, before you had to read books, you had to, now you could much quicker get the information or even get a written essay. But then we developed technology to, to then see those kind of copied essays, right? So I think, and I always get this feeling that whenever I try to come up with maybe what could be a future business, is like, well, it feels like everything's always already invented. And there's no point trying to think of something new, but really it's like more and more inventions, they create more and more opportunities. And I think there will be companies that work to counter, like AI, or to work to identify what has been used by in a certain AI model, and that would be new business kind of industries and so on in that space.
I think you are correct, and I give you an example. I have a 5-year-old son, right? He absolutely doesn't know how to code, but he has an imagination. He has Arduino chips, those things. They are quite like a Lego in IT, but he can't write code. So he's asking ChatGPT what he wants the Arduino to do. ChatGPT produces the code, he adds the code. So he only needs to have the idea, the imagination. He doesn't have the skill, but that's not the showstopper.
Yeah, it's funny actually. We had a customer who, we basically, at Cloudflare, we have a solution that allows you to run your own code on our network. And one customer needed some custom code. And they didn't have the personnel or someone who is specialist in this to write the code. So we, myself and actually our channel manager who we work with, Ramin, we entered the command into ChatGPT, but then I cross-referenced it with our engineers. I said, does this look right to you? And they said, well, ChatGPT typically looks right, but is often wrong. So the code, even the code that it gives you, you still have to understand whether it's right or wrong. You still have to test it. You still have to tweak it, right? It's and you have to give the correct command, right, to make sure that it executes it exactly how how you want it to be. So I think it's not there yet where it's like the solution for coding, but it can definitely help people get into coding, and they still need to kind of understand whether it can speed up the process, but they still need to understand it.
Yeah, he's just, have small diodes and he wants to have a diode to be blinking. So there's not like complex code, but still much more than he's able to even understand or write. But he can ask the question.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I think can be missed easily. So back to the what you said, that back then we used Google to make our essay. And previously we went to libraries and we opened books. It was the same thing. You were searching things. But after that you used Google to search things. And you just copy-pasted. And then you had your essay for your college, colloquium or for your mark. And what did you lose? You actually didn't lose anything. You gained time because it didn't take you ages to literally write it. You could just copy-paste. But what's important here is to know what you put into the essay. So do you know what you actually copy-pasted or not? Because when you had the books and you really had to write it, yeah, you spent a lot of time and you understood what was in your essay. But when you use Google, you may or you may not remember what you did. With ChatGPT, you completely don't remember if you don't read it. And here is the thing that, asking you or somehow like checking if the student, let's say, really knows what's in the essay. And that's what is many times missed in education. And here, the time we save creating that thing, we could use, let's say, that time to double check what's there and to literally acquire that knowledge, what ChatGPT help you in seconds or in a minute.
There is a fun fact that fact is not it's an assumption that human society grew more in last 30 years than in previous 3,000 years, thanks to modern technologies and ability that several people on different sides of the world exchange information instantly, brings much more knowledge. In the past, let's say 200 years ago, it was needed maybe 50 years that some knowledge from one part of the world will hit another person on another part of the world, which will continue this idea, which was started. Anyway, yeah, maybe it seems that we are just speeding up this process.
I'm curious. I like to research, like astronomy and space and so on. And one of the theories is that we will soon hit the technological singularity, where essentially our technological advancement will hit a point where it just will go exponentially, right? Like, for example, AI. We develop an AI where we could ask it any question, like how did the universe begin, and it will be able to tell us the answer. That's just a very extreme example, but yeah, it does seem like the technological, like you mentioned, the last 30 years, we've advanced a lot, and it doesn't look like it's stopping. If anything, it looks like it's gonna speed up, and AI is definitely one of the reasons for that, or catalysts for that.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, I'm a little bit depressed now, opening that many questions. Yeah, and maybe if you have some more thoughts, I was thinking to finish this round table and maybe we can repeat or think about it in a year just to see where we are. It will be funny to see this video in a year or two. Maybe we will have some answers. Maybe we will change completely our perception. Any comments, ideas?
Well, if something major will breaks until the time, we will definitely will. But yeah, we don't even have ability to understand how it's going to look like in 1 year, in 2 years, because it develops so fast and so unpredictably, I would say, because yeah, I mean, we're just clueless by now.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe we will know answers on existing questions, but question is how much new things will be in front of us.
So yeah, if Elon Musk is afraid, I think we all should be a little bit afraid. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time, for your creativity. We have here very, how to say, different people and perception from diverse from age perspective, and somehow it's also answers we got are involved our experience and that element. That was something I noticed during the. Thank you very much. Thank you for everything you share with us. And I just want to thank people who are with us online. Everything will be recorded and delivered. Once more, thank you giving us a chance to share with you this event, and looking forward to see you soon online or somewhere in person. Bye.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you very much.